So before I get into this, I just want to apologize for how I sound and how I look. I probably look like I'm asleep, and I probably sound not any better. I don't know what the hell's going around, but I caught it, and I'm like in day 5, day 6 of this. And since I've had COVID, since I had Delta, I catch everything now. It doesn't matter what it is. If you got a stomach virus and I pass you, I've got a stomach virus. If you've got a cold and I'm in the same city as you, then I've got the cold. If you got the flu and you are driving by me in a car, then I've got the flu. And I mean, I could be walking through the mall and pass a 13-year-old snot-nosed kid with a pimple on his forehead. And by the time I got past that little shit, I would have the pimple on my forehead. I catch everything now since I've had Delta. It's the damnedest thing. Used to never get sick. And since COVID, now I literally catch everything in this world. It doesn't matter what it is. My wife comes home the other day and her right knee starts aching, and then 20 minutes later, my right knee starts aching. It's the damnedest thing in the world. But on with the show. While I was sick, I was down. I didn't have a voice, but I was watching, reading the news like I always do, watch a lot of news and, kind of try to keep track of what's going on. And then I finally got to the point, I was like, oh my God, there's just too many things happening. I got to get up and I got to start doing stuff, because I've got my little fledgling podcast I'm trying to get off of the ground. So I apologize for how I sound. I apologize for all the sniffles you're going to hear. Probably some coughing, probably some sneezing. I've got my box of lotion Kleenex to my right here. So, but as you know, Saturday Night Live had their 50th anniversary. And no, I did not double up on man pills. I do not normally have this deep of a voice. So they did their 50th anniversary of the SNL, and they had Tom Hanks come on. And this is kind of a bummer for me because, I do like Tom Hanks. It kind of pisses me off that he did this. And, the worst part of it is Tom Hanks is literally my wife's favorite actor in the world, but I don't know if he will be after she sees this. Now, before I get into this and I play this clip, you know what the clip is. This is the clip of Tom Hanks acting like a white redneck MAGA man with his redneck accent and all that stuff. And, the blowback has been quite a bit so far. And I got to say, this probably, I know Tom Hanks is on the backside of his career. He's already made all the great movies he needs to make. But this is not going to help his career any whatsoever because he pissed off literally half the country by doing this. And this is what I always say, if you're an entertainer, just entertain. Don't take sides. If you're into making movies and stuff, now if you're a comedian and you're a left-leaning comedian, go for it. Bust on the right all you want and vice versa. If you're a right-leaning comedian, bust on the left all you want. But I'm going to tell you right now before I play the clip, I am the typical white MAGA man. All right? Typical. Got on my flannel shirt. Got on my ball cap. So I guess I need to talk like this all the time, according to SNL. I guess I need to talk like this all the time, which I got to be honest. Most of my friends are Republicans, and I don't have one that talks like that. Not one. And why am I wearing a flannel shirt? Because it's colder than balls down here. That's why. It's colder than hell outside. And so I'm wearing a MAGA shirt. Why do I have my ball cap on backwards? Well, because, as big as my head is, you would think when I do not have my ball cap on, my freaking, no matter how tight I get my earmuffs, my headset, it falls off. It's the damnedest thing in the world, man. And I got this big old noggin. You would think that it would sit on my big ass head, but it has a tendency to start sliding backwards, and then it's gone. And so I put a hat on, and it stays in place. So that's why I wear a backwards ball cap every time I do one of these. And because I can't do forwards, the bill drives me crazy. I feel like, something's going to hit me on the head and I'll never see it coming. But anyway, so there's been a lot of blowback about this in SNL and the Tom Hanks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the skit right now that is getting all this stuff started. I'll be right back.
They out here saying for sex.
Okay, they out here saying this movie doesn't deserve an Oscar. Keely.
What is Tyler Perry's Boo a Medea Halloween?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. When that man puts on a moo-moo, I'm just transported.
I got to tell you, I love those movies. I bought a box set at Walmart, and if I can laugh and pray in 90 minutes, that is money well spent.
Oh, you know what, sir? I really appreciate you saying that. I like that. I really Oh, no, it's all good. Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. Trust me, it's all good. Okay, yeah, it's all good. Yeah.
And that is the bit that kind of ruined this entire skit. That little 10-second clip right there ruined the entire skit. Before this got started, this could have very well been funny. Their left-leaning shitbox show, let's be honest, their ratings are garbage right now on a left-leaning shitbox network. But, I've watched a lot of comedians that, say funny shit about Trump, and it's funny, because it's comedy. And that's how I look at it. I don't get offended. I don't get my feelings hurt. And this could have been funny. You got the two black girls with their, doing their typical black language, making fun of, the stereotype of the blacks. That's funny. You got the questions that are stereotyping blacks. That's funny. You got the redneck white guy on here, MAGA, and that's funny too. That's absolutely funny until they did this. Because this is exactly what the problem here is. I have heard so many times in my life, Donald Trump's a racist, who, by the way, has one of the most diverse cabinets in history, Donald Trump. Donald Trump hates black people. Is that why he got more black votes than any other Republican president before him? Ever. Donald Trump, the man who hates the black man. Give me a freaking break. And like I said, I am the typical white Republican. I don't even own a MAGA hat, but I voted for Donald Trump. I would vote for him again if I could. I will vote for J.D. Vance because I believe in what they're doing. I do not believe in what the Democrats do because the Democrats do nothing but divide. And if you want to argue this point with me, you have my comment section. Make the comment, and trust me, I will reply back. The great divider was Barack Obama. Not because he's black, because he's a liberal nut job. That's why. Because I got to tell you, in all the presidents I've seen before Barack Obama, I never saw the country split like it did under Barack Obama. And that's where the introduction of DEI and wokeness started to come in. And then we had Donald Trump, and then we got Joey Bribes and Drinks on the House Harris, the absolute worst president and vice president in my lifetime. Why do you think the Democrats lost everything? They literally had the two worst candidates in history. And they're blaming everything in the world on why they lost. And they can't see the truth because they're blind and, well, they're pretty much idiots, to be honest. Excuse me. But had they kept on with this the way they were going and had Keenan Ivory, I think his name's Keenan Ivory, whatever his name is, shit, I don't know, have him come over and shake Tom Hanks's hand, being the white redneck MAGA, and Tom Hanks had just leaned over and shook his hand, this would never have made it to light. But when he did this, can't touch the black man, can't touch the black man, that set the entire thing on fire. That's the kindling that burned down the entire skit. And this isn't funny. And the reason it's not funny, like I said, is because Democrats, they have no other leg to stand on except racial division. That is it. They have been beating that horse since Barack Obama. And guess what? The country doesn't buy it anymore. And this is how stupid Democrats are. After they lost on November 5th, massively, they lost everything. I mean, what happened to the blue wall? What happened to that? You lost the entirety of the blue wall. That's how bad the Democrats suck. They lost their base. That's how bad they are. But they came out and for like 2 weeks, well, we got to change our messaging. We got to change this. We got to change that. We know we're broken. We got to fix everything. We've lost the voter. We've lost this. It didn't take them 2 weeks to jump right back onto the sinking ship they've been on that caused them to lose everything. I mean, look at what they're doing now. They're protesting like a bunch of idiots about everything. Doge this, Doge that. And this is the thing that amazes me. And I'm going to do another video on this. Doge was not Donald Trump's idea. That was actually Barack Obama's idea. And there's a video of Barack Obama saying the exact same damn thing that Donald Trump said about Doge. And when it was Barack Obama's idea, the Democrats loved it. Greatest thing in the world. But as soon as Donald Trump picks up where Barack Obama left off, then all of a sudden it's an issue. It's the damnedest thing in the world. And that's why I call Democrats hypocrites. They're so hypocritical, it is not funny. And to beat it all, in a country that is so divided, that Donald Trump is trying to heal. And I do believe given time, he will heal it. But the first thing we got to do is we got to get rid of liberalism because they're the ones that are fighting him at every step. Every step, they're fighting him. And this just adds fuel to that fire. I'm going to tell you now, out of all the MAGA people I know, I do not know a single one, if a black man tried to shake his hand, would do that. I don't know a single one. None of my friends are racist. None of my friends call me and say, "Oh, man, what are you doing today?" "Oh, just trying to stay away from the black man." Give me a freaking break. This is absolutely stupid. And I'm going to tell you, this hurt Tom Hanks' career. He should have enough common sense to say, hey, in this world, this is probably not a good idea. But no, he jumped on board because at the end of the day, Tom Hanks is a liberal shill playing a part on a liberal shill show for a liberal shill network. So before I wrap this up, let's just read some of the comments about this because this has been absolutely fantastic, man. Let's go start right here. Clay Travis, for its 50-year anniversary special, SNL had Tom Hanks play a racist Trump supporter afraid to shake a black man's hand. Fun fact, Trump's 2024 election win was the least racially divisive American election since 1964. And that is true. That's absolutely true. Trump pulled in record black voters. Trump's cabinet is so diverse, it's not funny. But here we go. The Democrats, every chance they get, man, every chance they get. You know, the reason I'm racist is because I didn't vote for Kamala. If you ask a liberal, that's what they'll tell you. Well, you didn't vote for her because she's black. No, I didn't vote for her because she's a drunk idiot. That's why I didn't vote for her. I didn't vote for her because she literally has 3 brain cells left in her head, and she's 1 drink away from being a vegetable, literally. But let's move on to some of these other comments here. Link Lauren, Tom Hanks just came out on SNL in a MAGA hat for a bit where he acted like he didn't want to shake a black man's hand. This show wonders why their ratings are in the gutter. No, they don't. They're in the gutter. They know they're in the gutter, but they cannot change. They cannot change. They're too brainwashed. They have 1 lane that they can drive in, and they cannot seem to find a freaking off-ramp anywhere. Trump won the popular vote. This tired trope that MAGA is racist is disgusting. SNL is an unfunny show, and it is. It's not funny at all. And let's see. Let's just grab another one here. Tom Hanks in a MAGA hat, horrified at the idea of shaking a black man's hand. Tells you everything you need to know about what the left has learned since November. That's exactly what I was just saying. They jumped right back on that sinking ship, and why they will thankfully continue to lose landslide elections after landslide election for the foreseeable future. And I agree with that. And I'm going to tell you right now, I think we are literally watching the dismantlement of the Democrat Party. I think they're on a sinking ship. I don't see any life rafts for them anywhere. They have nobody to lead their party. And, you know, they're not rudderless. They just got a broken rudder. And the guy steering the rudder is a moron. The Democrat Party, I mean, they're literally on their last gasp of air. And personally, I say we just put him out to pasture, man. I say we just put him out to pasture and let him go. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris destroyed what was left of the Democrat Party. Now it has become the insane liberal party. And I do mean insane, man. They are off the rails crazy on that side. And that's a lot of what won Donald Trump the election, the return to common sense, because the people on the left have no common sense. I know. I've argued with them for the last 16 years. I've argued with them. They have no common sense at all. And as soon as you start hitting them with facts, they either get offended, start calling you names, or they just storm off. If you don't believe me, just go to YouTube. There's millions of videos of that very thing happening. Millions of videos. As soon as you start hitting them with facts, they just walk away because they never have an argument. They never have a valid argument. Let me put it that way. But this is just kind of what I expect. And, you know, I've done videos on Saturday Night Live in the past because I do not think the show is funny. I think it's a shitbag show. And I think it's a shitbag show on a shitbag network with a shitbag cast. I don't know if I can say shitbag anymore, but I probably could try. And I don't think it's been funny for the last, 40 years. I don't think it's been funny. I think it's consistently gone downhill. And, this is just proof in the pudding. And I'm going to go back and say this before I close this up. If you're an actor and your goal is to make movies, why would you piss off half of the country? Half of the people who give you money, why would you do that? Because me, personally, I refuse to watch anything with Robert De Niro in it now. I refuse to watch anything with Robert De Niro in it. I can't stand him. And I used to watch all of his movies. Now, I won't even watch a repeat of his movie because the guy's he's just a moron. And Tom Hanks, who, is my wife's favorite actor, I don't know if he will be after this because this is going to offend her because she's a white MAGA female. And this is going to piss her off, as it should. I think this is a bad move by Tom Hanks. For SNL, I got to be honest, it's exactly what I expect.